About a week ago, a friend of mine sent me a link to a new John Salza and Robert Sisko interview with Michael Lofton, where they were discussing the apostasy, and they are now putting the blame of the apostasy on traditional Catholics, as they say, those who, reject Vatican II or reject the New Order liturgy, for example, or have issues with the men visibly reigning in Rome since Vatican II. And it's very unfortunate. It's disheartening to see. I've heard this over the years from other conservative, quote unquote, New Order styled apologists, this type of approach. And it's very unfortunate to see because Our Lady of Fatima in the true third secret of Fatima told us that apostasy would begin from the top down. And that begins with Rome and the bishops. And this is the part that just doesn't get addressed. It just doesn't get addressed. Even in Salza and Sisko's interview with Lofton and in the articles they put out on their website, they don't address the content of the third secret of Fatima. Whereas just a few years ago, Salza was a featured speaker at the Fatima Center conferences with Father Gruner. May he rest in peace. Holy man of God, holy priest of the Catholic Church. And at those conferences, he talked about the apostasy. And back then, accurately talked about the apostasy beginning from the top down. And I could provide the video clip where he literally says that very thing. And now he's done a complete 180, but with no explanation as to why. So to pin the apostasy on traditional Catholics that are seeking to hold to the traditional faith, it just makes absolutely no sense. It makes zero sense. When we talk about traditional Catholics trying to hold on to the traditional faith, what we're talking about are true, authentic Catholics who are seeking to avoid the errors of modernism and the corruption of heresy and choosing to cling to the dogmas, the authoritative dogmas, the doctrines of our sacred tradition, of the perennial magisterium of eternal Rome. And to say that they're the ones that are forming the apostasy is a very unfair and just an untruthful statement to make. And so I just wanted to come out and put a note on that and to encourage everyone that watches this. Pray for the repentance and conversion of John Salza, Robert Sisko, and Michael Lofton. Don't be upset. Don't let anger overtake you. Don't second guess yourself and fall into despair, but pray for these individuals for their genuine repentance and conversion, because they're doing a tremendous disservice to Holy Mother Church. Trying to defend men like John Paul II, who did the Assisi Interfaith meetings, for example, or Francis for Pachamama. Both of those we've covered many times in posts on our Instagram account and in many articles on our website. But we need to be praying for repentance and conversion, because as Our Lady of Fatima said, apostasy would begin from the very top down. That's what she told us, and that's been reconfirmed by other apparitions, by the warnings of popes from the past, and so that's where we have to focus our energy to. Now, in that video that you just saw, I mentioned that John Salza admitted in a previous speech that apostasy would begin from the top down. This was the message of Our Lady of Fatima. He has yet to refute this or explain why he changed position. But either way, here's the audio, and you judge for yourself.
The heart of Our Lady's message at Fatima, contained in the still suppressed third secret, is that while the dogma of the faith will somehow be preserved in Portugal, it will not be preserved elsewhere, most especially at the top of the church, by the one who is most responsible for preserving the faith, the Vicar of Christ himself. This is why the famous Cardinal Ciappi, he was the personal theologian to 5 successive popes, he said in 1990 that the message of Fatima reveals that the apostasy will begin at the top. Not near the top, at the top. And who sits at the top of the church? The Pope. In fact, Father Malachi Martin, who claims to have read the Third Secret, said that in it, Our Lady reveals that there would be a Pope who would be completely under the control of Satan.